everybody. Daniel Allison, the average dude, episode 490. My microphone just kicked in. Freddie Blanton can hear me. It's only happened 415 times in a row, Freddie.
Yeah, hey, you're gonna get it fixed one day.
I am. One day, I'm going to fix this microphone, and it's going to sound fantastic right off the jump. Freddie, did you notice something in the intro?
There could have been a little goof up, maybe.
Just a little tiny goof up, not a big goof up, just a tiny, tiny goof up. And I called it, and I'm just excited. We've got two great guests today, and we don't always get great guests. So I don't have to just talk to you. I get to actually ask questions that I'm desiring the answer to.
Right.
So
it should be a good day for you.
It should be. Are you fired up and ready for a great Friday, Freddie Blanton? Yes or no?
First sip, let's go!
Let's get it.
Paul Pappy's going to Morgan Wallen tonight. Paul, I'm going tomorrow night. I need some advice on the parking situation.
The Morgan Wallen, see, I don't know anything about it. This is going to be a great show. Tell me what we're seeing and why.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
Oh, well, it's Morgan Wallen and Brooks and Dunn. If you can't catch up with that, you just need to maybe just stay in your apartment for the rest of your life.
Hey, I'm well. I am well. There's Joe. Good morning. Buongiorno. Great to see Joe on here every single weekday morning, 490 straight. Come on now. Paul Pappy, enjoy this teenage time with the daughter. So special. Where's Aaron Jacobitz? Don't always get good guests. Geez, Daniel, now I have a complex. I'm telling you.
You said it.
This is starting so, I have to explain this now, right? Every day I'm with Freddie. Now, when we have guests, I love having someone extra besides Freddie because Freddie gives me a hard time sometimes, folks. It's really
I have
tough.
A bad attitude.
He's got one of the worst attitudes in the upstate area. It's unbelievable. Paul, let's see what Paul says. I bought an Esso Club parking pass, elite, 82,000 people in attendance. Parking is all strategy. Going into the valley. Well, that'll be fun. That will be fun. And hey, we've got some F3 friends with us this morning, Freddie. And
yes, we do, Daniel. Thank you for bringing that up.
Well, I didn't know if you were going to look back up from that paper or not. And so I was kind of drawing it out just a little bit. We've got some F3 friends with us this morning. There he goes. He's back down. And I wanted to hear your story. I know you've told me the story of F3 before, but I want to hear your F3 story. How did you get involved with fitness, fellowship, and faith and start doing this and running into the average dude again? How did it happen?
It happened because of John Peterbilt Dobson.
Let's go.
One of the most athletic humans I've ever seen in person.
Absolutely.
One of the greatest football players in Greer High School history.
Let's go.
If you don't believe me, ask him. But he kept harassing me. Finally, one morning I said, I'll go if you come pick me up. And in fact, he did come pick me up about 3 minutes before we were supposed to be there.
In Peterbilt fashion, he was right before. Well, that's awesome. And so how long ago was that now?
Ooh, it's been a minute.
Yeah, it's been what, 6-7 years?
At least 7 years.
That's unbelievable.
I've grown 2 inches.
Grown 2 inches.
Going to F3.
By what?
Just going to F3, I've grown 2 inches.
Just going to F3. Hey, it will make everybody grow up. And you know what? Without further ado, we're going to introduce our fantastic guest. And number one, we're going to introduce Philip Leroy.
Hey,
good morning, Phil.
Good morning.
Hey, now the last time we were talking to you, you were in your car, you were on your phone, you kept getting calls, and I said, we've got to get Huck back in the box. So great to have you back with us this morning.
Good to be back.
And second, let's get Lieutenant Dan, Mr. Will Grambling, back into the box. Morning, Will.
Good morning. I'm very disappointed that Phil got introduced before me. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, I'm shocked myself.
Freddie, did you catch that? I mean,
yes, I told him
in the professionals
pregame meeting which way to introduce y'all, and he failed.
Yes,
I failed. I tell you
last
what,
time that mistake's made.
This feels a lot like the queue. This is why I don't like the queue, right? Because you get all these people and it's just sure there's so much pressure. But I want to talk about our F3 stories first and kind of get warmed up with that, guys. So let's start with the leader of the Ironworks group in Spartanburg in the upstate. Will, how did you hear about F3? Why did you decide you wanted to start the group? Take us into your mindset when all of this went down.
This I can't remember how far back this is because it's 12, 13 years now.
Yeah.
My Army chaplain, who I was good buddies with, we hadn't been demobilized for very long at all. And he called me. He said, there's this thing in Charlotte I'm doing called F3. And he said, it's not to you yet, but when it gets there, you're going to love it. He goes, it's right up your alley. He says, as soon as you hear they're coming, you need to be part of it. And so I looked it up online. I said, oh yeah, that looks fine. That looks cool. And then it was probably a year after that, or better part of a year after that, the Greenville group announced they were launching a Spartanburg group. And I came to the very first one, and it's just kind of gone from there.
Absolutely. And what do you think it takes to keep it going this long? I mean, you've been trying to keep everybody involved, and there's a lot of folks that are probably listening that have started different things. Been going for a long time, and we still have great momentum. How does that work?
I think you have to evolve with it. It's a cult of personality, but it's not always the cult of the same personality. If you look at who's here now, I'm almost the only one that's left from the beginning.
Yeah,
and it's changed. So, and we've got 67-year-olds, and we've got, I don't know, what was that, a 12-year-old we had running around? So and then there's other times that it was just a bunch of us all about the same age. And so you got to be like Gumby. You got to be flexible, and you got to know, you got to know who the clientele is. And I think, I tell people all the time, you don't hold it too preciously. Like if I made it my F3, if it was Lieutenant Dan's F3, it'd have broken a long time ago. And so letting these guys all lead and do different things, that's a big part of it.
I think that's great. And there's so much diverse talent and skill sets in this group. You talk about the difference in ages, and then people doing different professional things, people doing different things. Huck, what about you? What about your F3 story?
Yeah, I just want to say something kind of crazy. We on Thursday, yesterday morning, had 28 guys show up to the workout. I think it might be a record 12 years later of guys that are coming. So it's really amazing.
Tuesday we had 29.
Okay. Anyways, my story, I came in midstream of F3. I was one of those, what do they call it? Sad clowns, I guess, that are just roaming out there in the world. I was in my corporate job, putting on my suit and tie every day. And actually it was my father-in-law, Stanley, the steamer, who bothered me for about a year straight. And he just was relentless. Like, man, you'd love this group. You'd love this group. This seems like it'd be your group. Well, at the time I was not very athletic and was I had laid off the athleticism for a while, I guess you could say. So I was pretty fluffy and came out and suffered for about the first 6 weeks. About threw up a few times, but then something just kept bringing me back, and it was that brotherhood, the camaraderie, the the good connections. And that was about 6 years ago at this point.
I love that. And I remember, I remember when Huck started, and I remember the progress that we all made through that. But one of the things that I really love about F3, there's so many different things that it involves that help us as humans, right? And so I'm thinking about Huck, and I'm thinking about follow up, Freddie. You talk about follow up a lot in sales and the importance of follow up. Now here's someone, he kept stiff arming Stan, and then people started mentioning it to him and kept mentioning it. He finally did it, and now he becomes someone who's a regular, who gets a lot and really connected with the group. What do you make of that? Anything, or did I take it?
Typically what happens.
Yeah, that's right.
You got to stay on somebody. You know, I was just kind of looking at Joe's comment right here, and I would love for Will to address this situation here.
Oh wow. This toughie, Joe. Let's see what Will says. Are women allowed in F3? If not, they should be. Get some strong women to show you guys that hard work is what hard work is all about. What do you think, Will?
I'm gonna give a long-winded answer on this and say no.
Okay.
But there is a F3 equivalent called FIA that is the exact clone of F3, but it's females in action. And so there is an exact clone of it that's for women. But I think there's something very special about the single gender nation. I think you everything changes if you mix them up, and I think it loses some of the magic.
Yeah,
you know, I have to agree with that. We had a female that came one time that didn't know the rules, and it is what is it that shifts? Does anybody know what shifts? But something does. And I think it's hard to be that brotherhood when you have when you have more than the males in there. What about this? Who named you? Who named Lieutenant Dan?
The Greenville guys. And I don't know. You know what's crazy? I think it's because I guess it's my accent, but everywhere that name keeps popping up. I guess I sound more like Forrest Gump, but for some reason they keep. You know, I've been called Lieutenant Dan by many groups, not just
really.
So that name keeps kind of following me around. So I like.
I think it's a great one. How about you, Huck? Do you remember how you got your name Huckleberry? I remember that day, but I don't remember how that happened.
I do. That was also a steamer. So Huckleberry comes at I guess a few years before, we had done a river trip, a 12-day river trip from Spartanburg to the ocean, on all the rivers that are in between, through Columbia down to the ocean. And that was it. That was the reason. Stan just brought it up in the circle while the name was coming up, and therefore Huckleberry was born. Huck Finn.
It's amazing how we just one morning at 5:30 in the morning, Freddie, we're going around and a wild name will come up, and then we know these people by their nickname, which is just an amazing thing.
It's an occupational hazard because some of them I only know by their nickname.
Yeah, same here.
Business environment.
It's
like that's Jelly Roll. You know, I don't know. You know, I don't know what his real name is.
I know. I feel the same way. And as you get older and you want to remember names and you start meeting people and then having two names, boy, that gets to be a challenge. I've got one more thing that I want to talk here about F3, and then we're going to talk a little business. How to run a great queue. And I think that, again, I think with F3, there's a lot of leadership involved. There's a lot of people skills involved, and communication, and of course, our health and fitness. So I've got the queue on Tuesday. We've all seen and been through a lot of different queues. We've all got our own styles. Freddie, I'm going to start with you on this one. What comes to mind? What tips would you give to someone to run a great queue in F3?
I think the key is keeping people active, keep people moving, keep their attention, make it short spurts. You know, we've got some guys in the group, Stan Parker. Every chance he gets, he will try to distract people by talking. All right. I don't need that as a cue. I need people working out and moving. So I think that's the key. Keep them moving, simple directions, Short burst.
And you like to keep people's attention. I've noticed that that's one of the big things for you. You don't like to repeat yourself. You tend to penalize the group if somebody doesn't hear you. So
this is true, right? Yeah, there's
I think Ribby Freddy just likes putting people in pain a little bit. How about you, Huck? How to run a great queue? Any good tips for that sort of thing?
Yeah. In the book, in the Free to Lead book, the F3 book, it talks about the string of pearls workout, and it's similar to what Fred's saying. But some of us who have become distance runners like to run a long way and leave people behind. There's a concept in F3 called pick up the six, and you don't leave anybody behind. And we've had some resistance to that over the years. But the string of pearls answers that question. You run a short distance, do a workout all together, count together, be a team. That gives a chance for the six or the back man to catch up, and then you can run again. So that's a very helpful. I guess it helps keep the team mentality and keep it all close.
I like that. I like that a lot. Make sure that everyone is getting a chance to participate and feels part of the group, because it's that belonging that makes a difference. So I think that's a good one.
Before you ask Will,
yeah,
I would like to point out, the more you do it, the easier it gets, and the more you figure out a good routine and how to lead everybody and adjust to everybody's capabilities. So if you only do it once or twice a year, which is what we're kind of running into, it makes it difficult.
If you want to improve, you got to do it. How about you, Will? Get on it. This is it.
All right. When you're the queue, you're in control. All right. So that leads to two things. First, you got to take control. There's some queues that get out there and they talk this little soft voice like this, and you can't hear them and you don't know what they want to do. And that's terrible. You know, if you're going to be in charge of the whole thing, be in charge of the whole thing. But and be clear what you want done, and push everybody. But if you're in charge, be in charge. And then I guess that could be a business one. And then the other one is when you're queuing, because you're in control, you can shift it however you want to. So usually if I quit doing push-ups and we start doing legs, it's because I'm tired of push-ups, you know. And so, but I can control, and they don't know where I'm going next. And so, you know, you can move that thing to where you keep the pressure on them, and you know where you're strong. So you use your strong to wear them out. And, you know, and that kind of translates over to a business thing too, is that if you're leading the show, you can make everybody else have to catch up to you.
Absolutely. And I like that. If you're in control, and there's that trepidation, if you're not used to being the leader, Freddie and I talk about it quite a bit, right? We need that experience, but then you're halfway doing it, right? Like, oh, I'm in charge, but I don't want to be fully in charge. And so then we start trying to quiet our voice down to make sure, you know, it comes down to making everybody happy. Right, you know, in a certain kind of way, right? No,
Freddie. No.
What I'm saying is, the problem is if we're trying to make everybody.
Oh
happy.
yeah. I try to make everybody unhappy.
I mean, just by saying that, I made y'all so unhappy. That was unbelievable.
Well, and the other part of that is that yeah, you've got to push them. So you're going to have to get them out of their comfort zone on that, and they want to be led. And I tell all the cues, and just like when I tell somebody when they're public speaking, if they have a problem with it, the people want you to do well. They're not there hoping you fail. They're wanting you to do well. So they're 50% your side already. All you got to do is finish it out.
Absolutely. And that's why, you know, I've been part of Toastmasters and different types of groups, but this is a way to grow. Ultimately, we're doing things that make us uncomfortable. We're working on our leadership skills. We're working on our communication, and we're getting in shape at the same time. So I think it's a powerful thing. Hey, I did have one more here. Great moments in F3 history. Great moments in F3 history. We've got 3 workouts a week, and we've been doing this for years. So what is the stories that stick out? What are the stories that stick out more than others? Okay, Huck.
I, gosh, so many great moments. But one in particular, we do well. One of the things that I absolutely love about F3 is that all the 29 fools that get together will actually listen to you. That's they you can tell them to do just about anything and they'll just do it. It's crazy. These are grown men. And so one of the crazy ideas that I don't really know where it came from was something called Hell Week. And it just spawned in my mind. And I said, hey, Lieutenant Dan, I think we should do a Hell Week to start the year off right. This was 3 or 4 years ago. I said, great, do it. Sounds good. Make it happen. So that first year, we do 6 out of 7 days of workouts, the weekday days at 5:30 and then the Saturday at 6:30. And the 6:30 workout is an hour long, and it's supposed to be the culmination of the whole shebang. And so I went and I bought pressure treated 6x6s, 16-foot pressure treated 6x6s from Lowe's. And those suckers were heavy, no less than 250 pounds a piece. And I remember being at the bottom of the hill. I was making people run with these things. And I did make the mistake of not participating in all of the exercises. I'll give that to you. But I got cussed out. I will not say names. Everybody here knows the name. I got cussed out, and I just hear everybody's chirping. And I hear from across the way, ooh, that's going to be an awkward Thanksgiving this year. Well, and it was Lieutenant Dan that said it. And I will never forget that. It was my father-in-law. I'll just go ahead and out him. It was.
Hey, Stan keeps coming up in this conversation, but I will never forget that either. I've got to say that was funny.
It was amazing. It was amazing. I had put them on a smaller team with fewer people. He kept complaining, and I was going to switch it up, so I just left him over there. And and I got it.
You broke him.
I broke him.
You broke him, and that's what.
And you're proud of
it. It was a great moment in F3 history. That's for sure.
Will Grambling and M.I.S. Freddie. Will.
My favorite ones, and Phil was kind of headed that way on it, is kind of the other stuff we've done. You know, we've kind of like you said. I'm to the point now. I think I can talk y'all into anything. You know, I mean, we did it. We just on a very short notice decided, hey, let's start Friday at lunch and see if we can walk 50 miles. You know, and like 18 guys were like, yeah, that sounds like a great idea. No, it's not. It was a terrible idea. It was a horrible idea.
Some people lost toenails.
Yeah, lots of people lost toenails. And so, but that, you know, the paddling trips, you know, it's you need misadventure in your life. And if you don't have a couple of people, you always, and it's hard to do that by yourself. So you need, like, you know, an extra 5 or 6 lunatics that'll do the same thing, you know, and that's my favorite part of it is just, you know, doing so, you know, quit being so daggum serious all the time and let's do something fun.
Yeah,
absolutely. Fred, what you got on your mind?
Hold on. Bam. What this audience really wants to know is what the craziest thing that you've ever seen Freddie and Daniel do.
Oh God! Do we really want to hear?
Well, one of the craziest things that I think that we have done is running that Blue Ridge Relay.
Yes.
Because we're cooped up in a van with 5 other men driving around wherever we were. It all looked the same. And getting out and running every few hours. Yeah. Some people would consider that crazy for sure.
Absolutely. I think it was. But, you know, we have these groups. And as I was talking about earlier, there's a lot of different things that we do with that group. Lots of different skills and talents and abilities. You guys have some commonality in business. You both have a foot in the real estate world. Will, you've been an entrepreneur for quite some time. You both went to Wofford College, right? And so you get these type of dynamics where there's commonality, and that's why I wanted to kind of bring both of y'all on here. But I'm gonna ask Huck, what do you've been someone, you were working with spreadsheets and you were doing kind of the corporate deal. Now I look at your backstop here and you got things hanging up and tools. Why do you love construction?
I got into construction because it got too expensive for me to hire other people. That's the down and dirty of it. Why do I love it? I love it because I've been able to go out and build a team that I love. I think I could take this team and go do a lot of other stuff and still love whatever we're doing. But it's construction right now, and real estate led me into that. I had properties to work on, and then it grew into a subcontracting business. And now we're completing our first new build, which is really cool. But it hasn't been easy to build that team. It has been really, really hard to build that team. But that's why I love construction, is because I love the team that we've built around us and around me. That's why I love it.
Well, and you talk about a team and working together and everybody feeling a part, right? Nobody left behind. And so that's how, all things are connected when we're talking about human beings doing things. So I think you're right. I think you could probably take that team anywhere. Will, you've done a lot of different things as well over your career. What do you think are the keys to being a successful entrepreneur? That's a tough one. Sorry.
That's a broad question.
I know. It is.
All right.
Just wherever your mind goes.
Let me back up my walk back to it. But
okay.
Right out of college, I worked for Wachovia Bank for 3 years. Great experience. Learned a ton. That came to an end during some banking shifts and that kind of thing. Also, I was in the Army during that period of time. So 2 giant organizations. Yeah. Big organizations.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that at all. There's nothing wrong with being part of a corporation. You got to know your personality. You got to know where your skills and everything are. I like to play the game a little too loose to be a banker. As Phil and I talk about it a lot, I got too much pirate blood in me to be a banker, and maybe that's why I ended up in the Army for a while too. Maybe I like that part of it, but I think that's it. Is an entrepreneur. One of the most underrated ones is observant. There was a test that they did that they took 100 people, 50 people said they were lucky, 50 people said they were unlucky, and had them do this test that required them to walk down the sidewalk and go to this other place. Well, they put a $5 bill on the sidewalk, and the people that said they were lucky noticed the $5 bill. Most of the people that said they were unlucky walked right over it. Wow. So that's, I think, because that's a part of the entrepreneurship is I'm not doing what I started out doing in the entrepreneur thing. It just kind of like the exact same with Phil. He saw a gap. Hey, this doesn't work. I think I can do this better than that guy. And just picking up on that and about, oh, you're so lucky. Well, yeah, don't get me wrong. Luck plays. Luck's part of it. But I think a lot of people get their blinders on and all this good stuff's going on and they just don't even see it because they've got tunnel vision.
I love that. That sounds like awareness and mindset.
Right.
Head on a swivel, open to new opportunities, looking for opportunities, and not like you say, leaving those blinders on. It's easy to do that though, isn't it, Fred? It's easy to get focused on something and miss things.
You got to have the confidence to take the risk too.
That's right.
Just because you see something don't mean you're going to act on it. These 2 guys are aware and confident enough, have the skill set to act on it.
That's right. Pick that $5 bill up when you see it.
I got a question for the group.
Yeah, let's do it.
So we definitely do some fitness. We definitely do some fellowship. How has the third F, faith, affected you in your personal life?
How has faith affected you in your personal life?
Yeah. We close every workout with a prayer. Do you think it's brought you closer to the other guys in the group, knowing what they're going through, knowing how to pray for them?
Definitely, yes. And a lot of that interaction, we don't get inside the group, like on Tuesday morning or Thursday morning or Saturday morning, a lot of that for me has happened in the breakfasts that I have with guys, in the lunches or dinners or whatever, something that where we reach out to each other one-on-one and spend time together in our homes or in a restaurant, or looking at each other in the eyeballs.
Yeah.
And getting, like you said, you kind of get a taste of it, a taste of understanding what's going on in everybody's life in the circle at the end of the workout. And you can understand that, man, everybody's going through some stuff. Everybody's got aging. Everybody got folks that they know that have cancer and that have challenging children and take that on. I think it helps to understand that really nobody's life is simple and easy. And then you get together one-on-one and you can learn more about it and specifically pray for them. And the way that has impacted my life is bringing me closer to the guys and to Jesus as well. I mean, I have a constant conversation with Jesus, and all these guys are always on my mind. But I think just it's not all it seems from the outside. A lot of these guys look like they might have everything put together, but then that vulnerability that hey, I've got this going on in my life, or I've got this going on in someone else that's close to me. I think in everyday life, you don't get exposed to that.
Yeah.
And knowing that, and being vulnerable with each other is a huge part of it. And being able to know what to pray for and how to pray for people is a huge part of the faith component to me.
That's why it's tough to have females in the group as well, right? It's harder to be vulnerable in the end. I agree with all of that. Everybody's going through something. Sorry to cut you off, Freddie. What were you going to say? Did you have something?
That's a great answer by Huckleberry.
Lieutenant Dan.
All right. He stole most of my answer. But the carry on for that is there is a strength that comes from hearing some guy has gone through that thing. I bumped into, I'm having this physical thing. Well, he had something that was 70% worse than what I'm going through, and he's fine and got through it. There's a confidence and a peace that comes from these group of guys. And that's one of the beauties of the span of age. 67-year-old guy can look at even a 50-year-old guy and say, it's all right. It's okay. You're going to do this, this, and this. And just somebody saying, hey, I had that, I got through it, and I lived, and everything's okay. Just kind of lets you exhale sometimes and be like, okay, and gives you the confidence to just keep plodding away at it.
Yeah.
I would agree, because as we get in those circles and we look at this diverse group and we see how different stages, different things happening, and we've kind of been there, done that sometimes, and other times with what's coming up, right? And so we can all learn from each other. It's really a powerful thing. Hey, we've got final thoughts on this Friday. Lieutenant Dan, somebody's out there and they need some encouragement. They're looking for a group like I was, like an F3. What would you encourage them to do, or maybe how would you encourage them, Will?
Well, I'm sure this has come up before, but you are your network, and F3 is a great place to do that. That's not our purpose. That's not what we're for, not directly. But the time you get to spend with other guys, real time, not texting back and forth, face to face, sweating it out, doing things together. That is an inherent bond that gets you that saves so much time. You get past a lot of that initial BS that you have to do when you first meet somebody in about 1 or 2 workouts. And so if you're looking to meet people, and also the guys that want to go to F3 are the guys who typically get stuff done. If you're not a guy who gets stuff done, you're not going to get up at 4:30 in the morning to make it to the workout in time and go sweat. So you're already at a high target rich environment of people that are doing things and making things happen. So that's the right room. That's one of the good rooms to be in.
That is the right room. Amen on that one. All right, Huck, what would you say to someone that's struggling in some way right now? What would be your encouragement?
Look, it's difficult to sort through the BS in society. You're fed with ads that you think answer questions that you want, that where you want to be. I think to sort through it, you have to go to people who have done the thing, have made it through the thing that you're working on, and are successful on the other side. That weeds through everybody that's trying to sell you anything. That weeds through the people that are doing it and are just trying to sell you on the process. You got to look for people that have done the thing and are successful on the other side. And this, Lieutenant Dan said, target rich environment. Well, if my version of success is to look for guys that who have a successful family life, who are able to spend time with their kids and have good relationships or are mending relationships with their kids, who care, who aren't unplugged from society, who have a functioning social life, who have all these things. Well, I can look around that circle and I can see 29 men who are those things. They have been successful in those avenues and are on the other side of it. Same in business. There's no reason to talk to people. It's okay to commiserate, but they're not going to have the answers that you need. You need to find people. And by the way, that's a very small group of people. The gurus online who are talking to the millions, or it's going to be very difficult to find that person, right? Who is in your category, whatever category you want to be successful in, and has already made it through the ups and downs, because every business is hard, by the way. Don't let anybody tell you that any business is easy, because you're dealing with people, and have been successful on the other side. That's going to be less than 5 people. Definitely that, I think I've found about 3. So if you can weed through and find a filter set of questions that will allow you to weed through the people that are just BSing or talking out of fear or trying to steer you off your path because they're just afraid. They're just, because they don't know. They haven't walked through what you need to walk through. If Freddie's trying to be a successful Bobcat salesman, well, he's not going to go to a banker. He's not going to go to a corporate real estate person. He's going to go and try to find people that have been successful in that category. And this group specifically has been great for the family success side, for the spiritual success, and for the business success as well. So that's what I would say is you can narrow it down. You can weed out a lot of the noise that is in your life by looking for people that have made it through the process and are successful on the other side. And those are the people that you listen to. You really don't listen to anybody else.
I love it. Good stuff. It's the human being game. And now, Freddie Blanton on episode 490 of First Sip. You can close us out. You ready?
Oh, well, I would encourage everybody on a daily basis, get a little fitness, get some of that correct fellowship, and definitely get some faith.
I love it. Hey, have a